Well, guys, welcome back to the 19.
What up? What up?
This week was a good week. If you guys got a second, take a minute out of your time and hit that like and subscribe button. Go over to YouTube, drop a like, watch the video, subscribe to the channel. So that way we can keep this thing rolling. Everything that you guys do out there means a lot to us, and we're just going to keep it going week in, week out. But this week, big week in the NFL, you know, big week
Yeah,
in the NFL.
it's week one.
Not so big, not so big.
No, it was kind of boo-boo in college, but it's
Yeah, I think a lot of those big matchups, week one, kind of took away from the week two power.
yeah, but it's college football, so
Yeah,
doesn't matter. There's always a good game to watch. KU Mizzou game was good.
that was a good game. That was a very good game.
It's a scary game for a minute, but it was a good game.
You know, you kind of like the back and forth battle though. You didn't want to be too one sided, but
Not
you
really.
also didn't want a nail biter.
I wanted to see the Tiger fucking boat race those sons of bitches.
They did at the end.
I wouldn't even call it a boat race, but you're down, what, 21-6? 20-6? I was expecting Tigers just to walk all over them.
Yeah, but like I said last week, nerves kind of get the best of some kids. You're in front of a hometown crowd. You're at home. They come in. They've got nothing to lose. They've got everything to prove. And kind of came out a little flat-footed, I would say.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I underestimated Kansas. They're a decent football team. They're probably going to win 7-8 ball games, I would think.
That quarterback,
They
he
play
ain't
tough.
no joke.
They play tough.
Yeah. I mean, between the border war and then you had Oklahoma, Michigan, those were kind of really the only two big games out there, honestly. I mean, Texas played a nobody.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, that Michigan-Oklahoma game wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination. Michigan kind of played flat-footed all night. You could tell that that quarterback's young, but he got some reps in a hostile environment and put that on his resume for the future.
Yeah. I mean, at least the NFL kind of delivered a bang on Sunday, which we're definitely gonna look more into all the games. Well, maybe not all the games, but we are gonna touch on key points. We're definitely gonna highlight a lot of primetime games. I know a lot of people out there watch the primetime games, so they're a little easier to talk about, give our opinions about. But we'll touch on the whole NFL. We'll touch college football. But let's get right into that first segment. The win of the week. If you want to take it this week. I'll let you lead it off.
Win of the week was opening week of all sports in the household. We had volleyball, we had flag football, we had soccer. Volleyball went well. We finished the week 2-0. Started this week off last night with a loss in 5 sets, but that's all right. Only game 3. Played flag football Saturday evening. Took our lumps, when you only got 2 kids on your team that are inexperienced playing, I think, any kind of organized sport, much outside of football, but
Yeah.
And soccer, I think we lost 3-0, 4-0. Could have been a lot worse, but the big guy was in the goal, so he made about 16 saves in an 8U soccer game.
Not bad numbers.
Nah, it looks like he was getting ready for the World Cup out there, bud.
Hey, just mark him down for what would that be, like 2052 World Cup?
A long time.
Yeah.
I'll be lucky to be around for 2052, bud.
Hey, well, we all hope to be around for 2052, but yeah, no, opening weekend of sports is always exciting, for the kids and for the parents.
Yeah.
You get to go back and see a lot of your old buddies and a lot of the old parent groups and people that you saw, last year.
Burning down the highway. That's what I'll be doing till May.
Yeah, that trip to S-Town ain't a short one for you.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
know.
not.
I know my parents formed some pretty good bonds over the years with a lot of the kids that I played ball with. So I can only imagine, you kind of fall into the old habits of getting back into it. And, I look forward to when Raylan grows up, being able to do that kind of stuff with her. whether it's coaching or just traveling to watch her, honestly.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. But again, it's just the little one's just getting going and what he wants to do, and Chloe getting cranked up in volleyball, and I'm waiting for November.
Yeah. That's your favorite time of the year.
Waiting for November. But that's all right. We got volleyball to play.
Yeah, and from what you've told me, they look pretty decent this year. They might not be bad. Might
When
make a
they
run, might not.
when they want to play, they're good.
That's what it's
But
all about.
when they come out with a little energy and a little excitement, they're tough to beat. When they come out flat, they lose to teams that they probably shouldn't, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's kind of one of the hardest things. Look at KU and Mizzou.
Yeah, yeah.
Mizzou came out flat-footed. They ended up coming out with the win, but it's definitely that tricky fine line of trying to get them amped up for a team that they know they should beat. And at
Uh-huh.
that age, I mean, it's a little bit harder than, you know, even in the pros, you still see it. Guys think they're going to cakewalk a team, and it turns out that might not happen.
We'll see
But
how it
no,
goes.
yeah, it was a good week. My win of the week this week was Raylan started putting together some small sentences. She puts together little 3-word sentences now.
Nice.
She definitely understands what she's saying now versus before. I think she was kind of just saying a lot of noises,
Yeah.
doing kind of the random no. Now it's like she knows what she's saying when she does say it.
Has she repeated a cuss word yet?
Not yet.
That's
Thank God.
funny. It's funny when it happens.
I'm fingers crossed it don't happen until she's 6 or 7. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, good luck, bud. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, you know me. I ain't too kind about my words about it around anybody.
Just today, we got home from school. I parked at the top of the driveway and I was getting something out of the truck, and Miles got out and walked around and walked down the sidewalk, and I stand there for a second and I thought I hear water hitting the asphalt or something, hitting the concrete.
Yeah.
And I turn around and here he is standing on the sidewalk. The streets ain't but feet from the house. There he is, pants down to his knees, just letting it eat. And I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He goes, "I had to piss, Dad." And I'm like, "Well, let her go, son. Let her go."
Yeah, don't let me stop you.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, good
Don't
luck. Good luck.
don't you wish being that young?
Yeah, I mean, if I had my way, I'd just piss anywhere I want to, but people frown upon it.
Yeah, you may or may not get the cops called on you,
Exactly.
but they'd
It's
also
cool.
have to see it first.
Yeah, it's cool when he does it. It's a problem when I do it.
Yeah, I'm lucky I don't have to worry about that one unless she just goes in the middle of the yard, but I don't see that happening, but you never know. You never know. But no, on a not so win of the week this week, Raylan did break a bone in the top of her foot, so she'll be in a boot for the next 3 weeks, so that's gonna be fun to deal with, a little challenge, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It should be all right. You be
Yeah.
shocked at how resilient kids are.
Well, let's put it this way, actually today before we went to the doctor, she was not moving around on it at all, she was just scooting across the floor, and then, we get home, she's got the boot on, and hold her hand, and she starts walking down the hallway.
Yep,
I was like, "Okay, we're
I
doing
know.
it."
I know the boots all too well.
Yeah, you do. You were in one for way too long last year.
Long time.
But
That's
no,
she'll be just fine. She'll be just fine. Like I said, you'll be shocked at how resilient kids are. A couple days of wearing it, and for some other reason, you guys might not remember to put it on her, or whatever the case may be, and she'll be walking just fine. You'll be shocked.
yeah. That's kinda what I'm hoping for, honestly, you know? She, uh she's a tough little kid for being 18 months old, but, you know, I gonna love every minute of it, you know?
Yep.
Hold on one second. Let's jump right into that segment 2, you know? Our Hail Mary of the week. That'll be kind of a big let's call it a big upset. I don't know if you really wanna call it an upset or just kind of a long shot that we didn't think was gonna happen, but,
You go
my
ahead,
my
buddy.
my Hail Mary of the week is gonna be the Indianapolis Colts and Danny Dimes taking down the Miami Dolphins at Lucas Oil and handedly. It wasn't even close. That really wasn't even a ball game. Danny Dimes took over. I was very surprised to see Danny Dimes take over because it is Danny Dimes. But I know that a lot of people were skeptical on him going to Indianapolis. He ended up winning out that QB1 position from Anthony Richardson, and here he goes, week one against Miami with that high-powered offense, and ends up taking them down, scoring on every single drive, running down the field. I think there was a stat out there, maybe first time in 50 years, that QB has scored on every single drive that he's been a part of. So I thought that was pretty
Really?
impressive, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, say hi, bud.
Hi.
What's up, Miles?
What are you gonna do now? You just gonna stand here with me?
Yeah, for an hour.
For an hour? Okay. My Hail Mary of the week. I talked about it before, and I can tell you they're probably still going to be a good football team, but I didn't foresee the Chargers manhandling the Chiefs like they did. Honestly, I don't even remember the final score, but
27-21.
I don't even think it was that close, bud. I don't
Didn't
even
feel
think
like it.
I don't think it was that close. I think he's a prototypical quarterback. He can move when he needs to. He's got a cannon for an arm, and now he's got targets to throw to. And if they can continue to play like that, they might win that division. They might win that division because
Probably
Worthy's out for extended time.
a couple weeks.
Rashee Rice is out for 6 games, 3 games.
Yeah, 6.
6-game suspension, so he won't be back till week 7. And after them two, you got Hollywood Brown, but I don't think he's the all be all wide receiver for them.
No.
Kelsey looks in better shape this year, but he's 34 or 35 years old. He's not the Travis Kelsey of old, and it's going to be interesting to see what Andy Reid does to supplement the speed to sustain drives, put points on the board, and stay in ball game.
Yeah,
But it's easy to do though. It's easy to do though when you got 1-5 calling the shots. Yeah,
I'd rather have Josh at the helm. Given Patrick Mahomes does have rings, but 3 rings. Yeah.
How many that one got?
You didn't have to throw it in my face like that, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll take it as it be. It is what it is.
I think the Chargers are going to be 10-11 win team this year. I think they're going to. I think they're going to win a lot of football games. I think they're going to put a lot of points on the board, and they could dethrone the Red Kingdom from the top of the AFC West.
Yeah, that's not a bad take at all, to be honest with you. You called it in the first episode. You said that you could see the Chargers winning that division, and with Worthy going out, with Rashee Rice not being out there, it definitely was very apparent that their game plan was thrown off the minute that Travis Kelsey laid out Xavier Worthy.
Yep. And regardless of what anybody thinks of Jim Harbaugh, the guy can coach. He can flat coach football, and he's proven it everywhere he's been. He proved it at Stanford. He proved it at the 49ers, went back to college ball, proved it at Michigan. Now, were they cheating a little bit? I don't know. I wasn't there. I do know that they went out and won a national title and played damn good football. And, I mean, regardless of your opinion, he can rally the troops and get guys to play good football. So I think that's a team to watch out for.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I obviously don't like the Chiefs one bit. They've kind of taken us down 4 out of the last 5 years. So I can't hate that as far as them winning the AFC West. I definitely think the Chargers make it in the playoffs regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the Chiefs kind of look rattled. They obviously had a game plan, and when they tried to throw Hollywood Brown into Xavier Worthy's role, it wasn't the same, and you kind of tell. I mean, I think Hollywood Brown did have like 10 targets or 11 targets, maybe 10 or 11 receptions on 15 targets, and he did put up solid numbers, but if you don't really have a number 2 out there, Juju Smith-Schuster, he's getting older. He's still a good receiver, but he's not Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy's kind of level right now. And that's going to be interesting to see going forward because they got the Eagles coming to town this week. That's a big matchup. That's a Super Bowl rematch, and Xavier Worthy's probably one of those people they did not want to go down right now before that.
Yeah,
But
probably. I mean, we'll see what happens. Quick plug, Timberwolf, holler at your boy. Come on.
yeah, but on that note, let's segment into the NFL, I guess, because we talked a little bit on that Oklahoma game. There really wasn't much to talk about Oklahoma, Michigan. It was
No.
pretty much a snooze fest. Bryce Underwood looked like he was 18 years old, and he's definitely got some years to grow. But that Oklahoma defense took him over, and it really wasn't a game. I mean, it was
Yeah.
pretty one-sided. But let's jump into Thursday night football. Cowboys at the Eagles, kick off the year. You know, what were your takeaways from that game?
That fucking Saquon Barkley's good.
Yeah, Saquon he went for 60 and a tud.
I don't know. I don't even remember. What was the score of that? What was the final?
24.
I don't think it was that close. I don't think it was. Now, granted, Dallas had a shot to win it at the end. CD dropped the ball, didn't make
Twice.
the catch, whatever. Again, you see these teams, especially in the NFL, go up by 2 scores, and it looks like it's going to be a blowout, i.e. Sunday night.
Hey, we're gonna get into. Don't even blow that one. We're gonna get into
I'm
that.
sure we'll get into that game. But these teams take their foot off the throttle, and it's almost like they're playing not to lose instead of just going and hanging fucking 50 on people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like, what was it? Miami threw 70 up on the Broncos last year.
Yeah, it's if I'm a football coach, and yeah, granted, you don't want to. Nobody likes getting a score run up on them, but they're fucking professionals out there. Stop them.
They got a lot of money in their pockets.
Yeah, you get paid to do a job. You know what I mean? You get paid to fucking play defense. So play defense. And if you can't stop them, so what? If that means the other team's putting up 60, then put up fucking 60. Who cares? You know,
How
and
can you be mad? How can you be mad at them?
I think too many teams take their foot off the gas and stop what got them to that point of a big lead. And then next thing you know, it's a fucking ball game. And they're just scratching to stay alive or even pull away with the win. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with that take. There's a lot of teams where I don't know if it's changed. I wasn't around to see the old Bears teams with the nonstop defense that just nobody could get past, and the offenses that were just running up scores. Because the game has definitely changed. I don't know if it's the millions of dollars that people are getting paid, and guys are like, we don't want them to go out there and you're running up the score, and then all of a sudden, so and so tears their ACL in the fourth quarter of a game when it's 65-7. I feel like money's become a big part of the game now, whether we like it or not. Look at preseason games. You don't see a lot of starters starting now. And is that because they don't
And
need the
that's why
reps?
that's why.
Or is it because they don't want them to get hurt, and then all of a sudden your $40 million, $50 million quarterback's not playing week 1, and you're paying them all this money?
That's why you're seeing some of these starters go down now. It's because they didn't practice. They didn't go through contact drills. They didn't play in a preseason game. They sat out all 3 of them, or whatever the case may be. And now you get into week 1, and now you're supposed to crank the motor up and play 50, 60, 65 snaps.
Yeah.
And now you got, a twisted ankle or bruised this, pulled that, whatever. It's because they're not conditioning their bodies.
Yeah, it was pretty evident last night too in that Monday night game. We're recording this on Tuesday, so that Monday night game, it looked like a lot of players out there were gassed. It looks like the Bears defense ran out of steam. They were up JJ McCarthy's ass from the get-go, and all of a sudden it's like they're not used to playing, like you said, 65, 70 snaps at full speed, and all of a sudden they're gassed, and they're gasping for air. They're asking for oxygen. They're trying to get subs, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that's got to do with the money aspect of things and them not wanting their star players to get hurt, or if it's just got to do with, these guys just not wanting to run up scores.
I don't know.
But
I don't know, man. I don't know what it's like to play for that much money. I don't know what it's like to play that level of football. I played small time college football, and my reps would be anywhere from 18 to 35, give or take, on
yeah,
certain packages, certain situations. So, last time I played however many snaps was in high school 20 something years ago. But I knew when I was on the field, I just had to, whatever I had, we were cranking it out and we were letting it eat. It didn't matter, but these guys going in now in the NFL and not training their bodies right during camp like I think they should be. That's why guys are getting hurt, and that's why X team's going to be without X player for X amount of week, And
yeah.
I get the money thing. It's all business and it's all investments, and I get all that. I do, but you still have a job to do. You still signed a contract. You still got to perform.
And you got an obligation to the fans, the
Yeah.
fans are there to watch you guys. That was a big thing in the NFL or in the NBA was you had LeBron James sitting out, a game against Golden State. And it's like they bought tickets to go watch LeBron play Golden State and play Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And I get they need their rest, but give them the rest throughout the week. Get them ramped up. Get them at least a drive or two in the preseason. But kind of back to the original point, I thought the Cowboys played halfway decent, but that rain delay definitely threw a wrench in things. Or weather delay, I should say.
Yeah. It got real sloppy after that.
It's hard to come back from that though. I
It
I
is.
didn't play football at, the college level. I played 1 year in high school, but I can't imagine playing, 2.5 quarters of a game and then all of a sudden you got to go sit for an hour and a half and then get amp back up to get back out there when they're all kind of like, damn, it's probably close to midnight there, thinking in Philadelphia, they're Eastern time.
Yeah.
And I went to sleep when it went to the weather delay. There was no point in me staying up. I had to go to work next day.
Yeah. And I don't know. I thought for 2 quarters it was good football. After that, it just went downhill. And, it's week one. They'll get better. I mean, they're professional athletes. They'll get it figured out and put good product on the field.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say Dallas looked absolutely horrific. Dak went for 188 yards through the air. He ran for, I think he only ran like once technically, got 3 yards on a carry or something like that. But Javonte Williams came over from Denver. He had a pretty good game, had 2 touchdowns. He was sitting on my wife's bench in fantasy, so I kind of could have killed her, but she ended up still pulling out the dub. CeeDee Lamb went for 7 catches and 107 yards. Maybe one of the better performances without a touchdown that we've seen. Could have probably been closer to a buck 50. He catches those 2 balls at the end of the game. But
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts and the Eagles and Saquon Barkley, those guys running the football they look good. Even week one, say what you will about Dallas's defense. Dallas's defense performed a lot better than I thought without Michael Parsons. And yeah, I mean it was closer than I thought it was going to be, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's still
But
Cowboys.
still the
Fucking
Cowboys.
Cowgirls. Cowgirls.
Yeah. So let's get into the Chargers Chiefs Friday night. That was in Brazil. Chargers go down, and like you said, they look good. They looked really good. Justin Herbert slinging the football. Quentin Johnson had all the questions through training camp of being able to catch the football. He goes out there, has 2 touchdowns, sitting on my bench in fantasy. Didn't think he was going to do that. I thought bringing Keenan Allen in was going to be a difference maker. He did have a touchdown. Lad McConkey kind of did Lad McConkey things, caught his 8 catches for 65 to 85 yards and went out there, performed. And the Chargers defense looked good, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't look bad at all.
I just seen highlights. I didn't get to watch the game. I was at the high school game, but when I saw the score originally, I was like, damn, Chiefs are getting their asses kicked. And I guess it was pretty much all game that they got their asses kicked, you know.
Didn't look good.
What Mario Hampton did.
Mario Hampton went for 15 carries, 48 yards.
And welcome to the NFL, Rook.
I do
It's
think
all right.
he's going to be good. You kind of put a spotlight on him when we were talking about, him being a stud coming out of college. And Jim Harbaugh loves to run the football, but I think week 1, they got 200 and something days to prepare for that. The Chiefs are probably sitting there, Spagnuolo, Chris Jones, they're all sitting there saying, hey, they got this rookie running back, and they're probably going to run the ball. And Justin Herbert comes out, throws 38 passes for 318, completed 25 of them. But that was the first time I'd seen him throw the ball that much. But he looked good doing it.
Yeah, you take what the defense gives you. If that means you got to throw the ball 40 times with a quarterback like Herbert, then by all means, throw it 40 times.
And like you said, Jim Harbaugh, he's a great coach. He's been around the league. He's been back to college, and now he's back in the league. And I think he kind of knew how to approach that situation. And I think he's got a different mindset coming into this year, knowing what teams kind of are planning for against him. So he may not be as run heavy as he has been in the past, but I wouldn't hate to see it because I got Justin Herbert on one of my fantasy teams.
Yeah. How do you take time to manage 4 fantasy teams?
Don't ask me. It's an 8-man league. That's pretty easy. My draft went about as good as it could possibly go. I got a lot of weapons. And then I'm in the Dynasty League with you. That's a fun one. I do love running a team like a GM, planning for the future. You're not necessarily just playing for this year. But coming out of my Yahoo League, ended up needing Josh Allen to perform on Sunday night, and he did just that. So I ended up coming out 4-0 this week. So I don't think that's going to hold up all year, but I will take 4 wins week 1. Start out on the right foot.
Damn, that's just too much.
It is a lot
for me. It's too much.
Yeah, I tend to not pay attention to them until like Thursday morning, Thursday midday. I'll kind of take a look at all my leagues at once and just, sit down at lunch at work or whatever and go through, organize my lineups, make sure I got my people in for Thursday night. This week was different with the Friday night game, but
yeah. Fuck, next week we got double Monday night game.
Yeah.
Next week,
Tampa, Houston.
Why are we doing double Monday night game?
Now that Chargers Raiders game, I think they threw that in there because it's a West Coast game, and they're expecting the West Coast to watch. I don't see too many people staying up for that one.
I'll stay up for the beginning.
Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe the first quarter, maybe the first half, if we're lucky. We do try to stay up for as many games as I can, but working as early as we work, it's a little hard, to wake up at 3:30 in the morning after watching a game till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
4 or 5 hours of sleep. You get enough sleep when you're dead, bud.
Yeah. But Travis Kelce takes out Xavier Worthy in that Chiefs-Chargers game. Big loss for them. I saw possibly 3 weeks. He's week to week right now. I've seen possibly 3 weeks with dislocated shoulder. So they're without Worthy for 3 weeks, and then they're without Rice for 6, and it's gonna be dicey over there if they start 0-3.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good. They ought to run Andy Reid out of town.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a smart choice, but seen dumber choices made. But I guess let's just shoot right into it, the game of the week. For sure the game of the week.
Fuck.
Might be the game of the year, to be honest with you. I don't know if we
don't
saw
even start game of the year.
I don't know if we saw the game of the year week 1 or not, but it was a damn good one.
We got 1,000 more games to watch this fall. Don't call it game of the year. It was a good game.
But
Baltimore takes their foot off the throttle, and fucking Buffalo took advantage of it.
Now, do you think it's taking their foot off the throttle, or Do you think it was good football on the side of the Bills? Yeah, I wouldn't really say they took their foot off the throttle because, I mean, Derrick Henry scored with 6 minutes left to play to put him up 40-25. You know, it's not like he scored early in the fourth quarter and then they just kind of put Justice Hill in there to catch some screen passes or threw some dink passes. You know, it looked like I wouldn't say it looked like they were worried, but I wouldn't say that they weren't. And you know, Lamar scrambles for that first down late in the fourth quarter. You know, it was a good game, and I didn't hate to see it. I'll tell you that. And I damn sure stayed up for every second of it, and probably a good hour, hour and a half after.
Yeah. No, it was a good football game. It was. Derrick Henry's proven Father Time wrong. Still looks like a top 3 back in the league right now.
I would say probably
Lamar
top two back,
Jackson.
to be honest.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson doing Lamar things. And, Josh Allen and the Bills have a canny way of just finding a way to win, and
I
there
know,
is.
I know
You
there
can
were a lot
never
of people counting him out.
You can never count Josh Allen out as long as there's time on the clock. And he's within striking distance.
Yeah, you
If he's
know,
within striking distance with time on the clock, you can't count him out.
yeah, 15 points with 4 minutes left to go was definitely a stretch. You know, you kind of got to use your imagination, but that's where good football comes down to it. You know, both teams had all three timeouts. So it's not like either team made a mistake early in the quarter and had to use a timeout, had to burn that up because as much as people don't think about it, you know, not your everyday football fans at least, or people that watch football as much as we do, those timeouts are massive. You know, they
Uh-huh.
they can prove to be a game changer at the end of a game. And, you know, yes, when you're down 15 with 4 minutes to play, you got to have a little luck on your side. I know we had that 4th and 2 where Kincaid kind of tipped that ball up. Keon Coleman makes the catch in the end zone. All of a sudden, it's a ball game. And I know that you and I have talked about it a little bit, but Ed Oliver is just a little bull in a china shop in the middle. And
Grown man.
Him forcing that fumble on Derrick Henry was the difference maker because that fumble doesn't happen. There's no chance we come back from that game. There's no
No,
chance
none at all.
because we start
Ed
burning
Oliver
timeouts.
yep, he is a grown man. And to take the ball or bust the ball loose from Derrick Henry like that, that's impressive.
You don't see it
Especially
too often.
especially that especially that late in the game when ball security is important,
Yeah.
you know,
And
and
ran right
to
to that
pop it
stiff
loose.
arm and got his hand on it.
Yeah, to pop it loose like that, that's a grown man play right there.
Yeah. I we watched the majority of the game in the living room. I don't have the man cave set up yet like I did at the old house, but we will get there with time, you know. Give you guys a full tour of the man cave when it comes to B. But Derrick Henry and Lamar ran wild on that Bills defense. But
Yeah,
like you said, Josh Allen just has a knack for making things happen, whether it's with his legs or with his
yeah.
arm.
He refuses to lose.
He
That's
doesn't
what he
like to
does.
lose.
He refuses to lose as long as he's within striking distance. Time left on the clock. He's got a chance. Buffalo always has a chance because he just refuses to give it up.
And
And before it's all said and done, I think he'll win 2 or 3 Super Bowls. I do. And he's just fucking guy loves to compete. That's all there is to it.
he's a
And
he's a baller.
you can't ask for much more.
Yeah, he
His
is he
willingness
is a dog.
his willingness to compete almost, well, it reminds me of Tom Brady and how Tom Brady just loved to compete every Sunday when it mattered and he had to get the job done. That's what
Yeah.
Tom Brady did.
Tom Brady's the GOAT for a reason because he did get the job done a lot of the time.
Yep. Yep.
And I think this win may come back to decide home field advantage. You know, as much as everybody's going to say, "Oh, it's week 1, this, that, and the other," both teams were prepared. I mean, both teams had a
Yeah.
game plan. The Ravens knew after last year blowing us out during the regular season They knew they could ground and pound, and Derrick Henry ran wild. I mean, Derrick Henry went for 169, 2 touchdowns, but at the end of the day, he had that one massive fumble that everybody's gonna remember, and that fumble was a game changer. Josh Allen went for 290 yards in the fourth quarter, or 260 something yards through the air in the fourth quarter. That was more than 21 QBs. More than 21 QBs had for the entire day. He did in the fourth quarter. So you want to talk about a guy wanting to compete. He wants to compete. And I'll tell you right now, we talked about it on a previous episode, but Keon Coleman is going to be someone to look after because that man had a game.
He was on my bench in the
It's
dynasty
unfortunate.
league.
It's unfortunate, but he had 8 receptions for 112 yards and a touchdown. A couple missed 2-point conversions to him. One he got pushed out of the back of the end zone. First player to touch it, so obviously that didn't count. And then towards the end of the game, he was looking his way as well. It looked like he got held a little bit, but it's one of those ticky-tacky calls that you'd like to almost see play out more than you would get called. And, Josh Allen with some weapons is going to be dangerous. James Cook signing a new deal. You have a strong defense, and I'm not going to discredit the Ravens at all because their offense is one to watch out for because they could put up 40 on anybody.
Yeah.
But if you got an offense led by Josh Allen, it's a game changer.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be a good football team. They'll, like you said, it'll come down. That game might decide home field advantage, might not. I don't know. Still 16 weeks left, for 16 games. So we'll see. It's early. It's early.
It is, but it was hard to not get hyped up for that one. With revenge on the Ravens' mind, they're coming off the loss to us in Buffalo. Mark Andrews drops that ball. There was a lot riding on that game, and everybody kind of wrote the Bills off. I saw a lot of professional analysts out there picking the Ravens to win that game.
Come talk to me in January. We'll see what the Buffalo Bills are doing in January.
I think the playoffs are gonna be running through Buffalo this year, bud.
That's fine. That's fine.
And I think that home field advantage.
We know Baltimore can go up there and win. We know
playoffs.
We know Kansas City can go up there and win.
Lamar might choke it away in the playoffs again. Just saying.
We'll see. We'll see.
Hey, but all I gotta say is I got a sticker for your forklift come tomorrow.
That's fine. I'll wear
Even
it.
though
I'll
you
put
ain't
it
on
on there
all week.
I'll put it on there.
That was one hell of a game.
Who do the Bills have this week?
We got the Jets.
Fucking Jets played tough, bud.
They did.
Is it at New York?
It's in New York. No, actually, it's in New Jersey. First of all, there's only one team in New York, and that would be the Buffalo Bills. It's in New Jersey.
Well, the New Jersey Jets they played tough.
Justin Fields looked pretty good.
They might have found something with Justin Fields. It's early.
Yeah, you're building an offense around a guy, and that guy seemingly fits in that offense pretty well.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Hasn't really fit in with the Bears or with Pittsburgh, but it seemed like he fit in pretty well because Pittsburgh was supposed to have a dominant defense. They didn't look too dominant on Sunday.
Week 1.
It is week 1.
All that matters is they came out with the W. I survived the survivor pool. That's all that matters.
We both did.
Oh yeah,
we both had Pittsburgh.
That's right. We both survived the survivor pool, along with everybody else.
Yeah, except for like 3 people.
Yeah.
But, let's get into that Monday Night Football game, and then we'll kind of just touch on a couple key notes around the NFL. But that Monday night game last night, not a terrible game on a Monday night. It was not very exciting in the first half. J.J. McCarthy didn't look good in the first half. Caleb Williams looked halfway decent in the first half, which is kind of surprising, but with Ben Johnson as your head coach, Ben Johnson as a head coach, I will say, is probably going to be a game changer.
It's tough to say. Going from coordinator to being the guy, that's a tough gig. I would imagine it's tough in the NFL. And he's the head coach and the play caller. I'm not saying he can't do it. It's just we'll see what happens. I do think the Bears are going to be tough. I think they're going to be probably a 500 club, better than they were last year. And if Caleb Williams can make strides in year two, and improve on some numbers and keep him upright and not let him get fucking death rolled back there, then I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I think he had the most sacks last year by a long shot.
I thought I heard during the game he was sacked 68 times last year.
That honestly wouldn't surprise me. You know, their offensive line was pretty trash last year, but I'll tell you what killed them last night was penalties. They had like 12 penalties for like 160 plus yards. That can't happen.
Oh, you got to clean that up.
That can't happen. And that's a little bit of the Ben Johnson offense, you know, where Detroit ran it really well. They didn't have a lot of penalties. And when you don't have a lot of penalties and you're able to be in that short range second and third down scenario and you can throw the quick screen passes,
Yeah.
that makes a world of difference versus being at 1st and 15 or 1st and 20. But he honestly in his debut didn't look too bad as the head coach for the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams came out hot and heavy. I mean, he ran for a touchdown on their first or second drive, something like that, and he looked pretty good. But then it kind of unraveled, and he started trying to do too much. And he's gonna have to learn to play within that system. That's for sure.
It's quarterback friendly. He'll be, like I said, they just got to keep him upright. He can play. He can do what he needs to do. He can sling it. He can run. He can get him out of bad situations. He can create. They just got to keep him upright. You can't give up 4 sacks a game and expect to move the ball up and down the field.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this though. Do you think, I mean, obviously the offensive line can't keep him upright, but do you think it has to do with a decision-making issue on his end, or do you think it has to do on the offensive line actually not giving him enough time? Because it kind of seemed like last night he was able to go through progressions, but just not pull the trigger versus his offensive line actually breaking down to where he had to run out the pocket and scramble.
I think it's a mix of both. Everybody on that offensive line is, I mean, they're there for a reason, obviously, but they've seen, you like to think they've seen everything under the sun as far as blitz packages, you know. Now, some teams do a better job at disguising and in certain situations and this, that, and the other, but at that level, I don't think a quarterback should get hit that many times. I don't think it's all on the O-line. I think some of it is on quarterback to get the ball out, but the offensive line's got to be better than, let's just say you even cut it in half and only give up 40 sacks this year.
Still a lot.
It's still a lot, but it's fucking cutting by 30%, 20%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they brought Joe Thuney in from Kansas City. They're hoping he's going to be a game changer. Their offensive line really didn't look bad. The only problem that I saw with their offensive line was they were talking about a lot on the broadcast that Minnesota was not blitzing a lot. Like, I don't think Minnesota brought pressure in the first half. I really don't. I think they kind of let the first couple drives play out as they be, and they trusted their secondary. And then it was like, come halftime, it was like a flip got switched in Brian Flores' head, you know, over there, and he just started dialing up blitz package after blitz package after blitz package, and Caleb Williams definitely got rattled. He was kind of throwing the ball sporadically, throwing the ball before he needed to, but it goes back to Ben Johnson's offense being a timing offense. A lot of it has to do with how fast that ball's coming out, when they're hitting the breaks in their routes, you know, the screen passes. Even the screen passes, I mean, what's his face? God, I can't think of his name. He's got the long hair on the Vikings defensive. He's a linebacker for the Vikings, but it's not Anzalone. I can't think of his name. I'm drawing a
Ivan
blank.
Pace.
No, but Ivan Pace played really good.
Stud. He's
No,
good.
it was the guy that was in Miami, Van Ginkel.
Oh,
Van Ginkel. That dude was reading Caleb Williams' screens like it was a book in elementary school.
yeah.
I mean, he was jumping that route every time. He probably could have had 2 pick sixes if he could have got there just a split second faster. And It's gonna be interesting to see what the Bears do on offense this year. I do kinda hope they turn it around just to see the Chicago Bears be better than they were last year, just because the name. Everybody thinks
Yeah.
Chicago Bears, great dynasty, or not dynasty, but great franchise. But JJ McCarthy in his debut showed out in the fourth quarter.
I think I think that division's gonna be a dogfight. I do. I mean,
I would not be surprised if it comes down to like the last game of the year.
yeah, Detroit. I mean, Detroit's a good football team. They're gonna be a good football team. You know, they ran into a defense with Micah Parsons.
Only playing half the snaps too.
Yeah, just energized,
But I think
brought fire to him. But I think that's gonna be that right there. The NFC North is gonna be like the bloodbath, like the AFC North is. You know, where it's just physical, hard nosed football.
cold weather teams.
And I don't know why you get that vibe from different divisions, but when you hear of an AFC North matchup, say Baltimore Cincinnati or Cleveland Cincinnati, you know, or Cleveland and Baltimore, and you go to the NFC North and you think of Chicago Green Bay, you just think of hard nosed, tough football. And you don't, if you say, oh, that's the NFC South, you got the Saints and the Bucks. You don't think hard-nosed football. You don't
No.
think tough football. Or you go to the AFC West and you think Chiefs Broncos. You think, okay, this could be a shootout. It could be Kansas City could boat race them. Who knows? But you know, when you get a game in the AFC North or the NFC North, it's a fucking prize fight, bud. And you better be
Yeah.
you better be able to stand up for fucking 4 quarters.
That's a good point. I don't know if it's got to do with them being cold weather teams and, back in the day, they were playing in 20-degree temperatures a lot more often than I feel like we are now. But they were running the football and it was kind of ground and pound. And our defensive line versus your offensive line, the trenches are going to matter. Whereas the AFC West now kind of feels like, I wouldn't say every offense is like this, but kind of like the speed option offense, run pass option. It feels like the quarterback always has that second choice to hand the ball off or throw the ball.
Yeah.
Where
And fuck, I didn't even mention the Steelers.
there
You
that's
get
hard
a
nosed football there.
You get a Pittsburgh game and a Pittsburgh-Baltimore game. That's to cinch down the helmet one snap tighter, one buckle tighter on the shoulder pads, and let's get ready to bang because that's what's getting ready to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of like we're gonna beat each other's heads in until the game's over and that whistle blows. And that, like I said, that's kind of like a game that's won in the trenches that you don't see very often anymore.
Yeah, like I said, you don't get that vibe or that feeling from any other division on either AFC or NFC, but both divisions, AFC, NFC North, you just get dogfight.
Yeah. JJ McCarthy's in for it after that debut. He for the first 3 quarters of that game, it definitely didn't feel like he could keep up with the pace of the game. Felt like it was almost a little fast for him. But then that Vikings offense finally settled in. He went on to throw for 2 touchdowns and run for another. And they looked pretty good towards the end of the game. I mean, it took them a little bit to find their stride, but like you said, it's week 1. You're gonna have those hiccups. It was his first start with the weapons he has around him and Aaron Jones and bringing in Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, obviously. Those are some big name weapons that they could certainly do some damage up there in the AFC North or NFC North.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch those two divisions.
Yeah. It will be if Joe Burrow stays alive. He got whacked a couple times by Cleveland, and if Cincinnati's offensive line can't keep him upright,
Yeah.
they're gonna struggle.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Just another quick note around the NFL. You had Aaron Rodgers showed some life in his old age. He is getting older, but led Pittsburgh down the field. They ended up kicking that 60-yarder pretty much as time expired in the fourth quarter. Chris Boswell doing Chris Boswell things. Probably been one of the best kickers in the league for a long time now. And probably has a lot of life left in those legs. And then the Commanders took care of the Giants. That was a pretty handed matchup. The Giants have not scored a touchdown now in 3 straight season openers. That's a little embarrassing. But week 1, maybe it takes some time to get their offense going. But I know Jackson Dart is not out of the question to be a starter up there if Russell Wilson doesn't produce. Bengals sneak out with the win over Cleveland. Joe Burrow took a lot of hits, didn't play very well, only threw for 100 and something yards, like 120 or something like that. So, they're going to have to find a way to get their receivers open. Baker Mayfield goes down the field on the last drive of the game, hits Ibuka for a touchdown. They end up closing out that game in Atlanta. That was a good game to watch, actually.
Was it?
Very, very surprised. Very surprised.
Baker's
But
another competitor.
he can play some hard-nosed football.
He's another competitor, man. He likes to compete, and that's all.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's kind of like Josh Allen, I feel like, in the aspect of, like, he likes to get hit right out the gate to kind of settle into the game. He likes to take that shot. And when he takes that shot for the first time and he gets hit and goes pads to pads, he's like, let's go. And he gets fired up. That dude gets fired up.
And then, that's all you can ask for in your quarterback.
That's really all you want.
Yeah, just a guy that likes to compete and get after it.
And, Emeka Ibuka just showing out in his NFL debut. 2 tuds, 64 yards. That was a good showing for him. Had 4 receptions, so not anything crazy. But you put up 2 tuds in your first NFL game, it's a pretty good start.
Not bad. Not bad. And Baker likes him.
He does a lot. Heard him on a couple different podcasts now talking about how good he thinks he's going to be.
And you know all that's going to do, right? Is open up Mike Evans.
That's what I like to hear because I got him in 2 of my fantasy leagues.
I got him on my dynasty league.
Yeah, you only got a few more years left of old Mike.
That's okay.
But he got you the dub last year, didn't he?
He puts up a lot of points, man.
He does. A lot of receptions.
Puts up a lot of points.
He's sure-handed, and you can't really ask for anything else, especially with a young receiving core.
No.
And Chris Godwin being out doesn't help them at all. He'll be back here in a few weeks, but Mike Evans will see those receptions until then. And once Chris Godwin comes back, that's just another weapon that Baker's got out there. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens down there in the NFC South. I know there's a lot of talk around Penix and the Falcons, but Tampa might be a team you don't want to sleep on.
I don't. I think Tampa Bay walks away, wins that division by 2 games.
Think so?
Yeah. There's no Saints. They're not very good.
They got Rattler as their quarterback.
Yeah. Penix's first year starting. See what happens.
You got weapons, though.
Tampa Bay, playoff team from last year. And who's the other? The Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
They got the weapons. They got the tools. They just got to put it all together.
Yeah, they did not look very good in their season opener against Jacksonville, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the course of the next 16, 17 weeks. But let's jump into that third segment, the Ain't No Lie segment, and then we'll hop right into the girls' picks right after that.
Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I think it ain't no lie that the playoffs in the AFC are going to run through Buffalo. I know everybody's going to say it's week 1. I know you're going to say it's week 1, yada, yada, yada. But the way that team fought until the end and the way the defense kept showing up after getting trampled by Derrick Henry and Lamar, Joey Bosa and Ed Oliver just getting after it and getting after it and getting after it. I think that's something to be had. A lot of teams won't do that. A lot of teams, their defense kind of give up, kind of give 50% effort, 60% effort, and them boys were out there fighting. Whether we were down 15 or not, I don't think they really cared. 17 at the helm, it's hard to bet against the playoffs going through Buffalo in the AFC.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too early. It's too early for me.
We'll talk week 10.
It's too early for me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm going to change it up here a little bit. I kind of miss the golf course.
It's not a bad take because I do too.
Kind of miss the golf course. Need to get out there now that the cooler weather's setting in and get a round or 2 in before put the clubs up for the
Yeah, I got a trip at the end of September heading up to New York, but
yeah, some of us can't go play because we got to go to the Ryder Cup in 3 weeks.
Sorry about you. I mean, I am excited, but I do miss the course. especially with the cooler weather coming around. We are going to see some hot days here in the next few, but when it's brisk enough outside where you can throw a hoodie on in the morning,
Oh,
it's what I live for. That's the
yeah.
weather that I live for. Throw a quarter zip on, go golf, play 18. When you get to the turn, you take it off, and it's like, damn, it's nice out.
Yep. Hopefully we get a couple rounds in before winter sets in, or we're all too busy to play another round.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely get out at least one or two more times before the year's over.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we
Just
will.
figuring out when to book it. But let's get into the girls' picks. Raylan is currently 2-1. Pick this past week of the Detroit Lions lost to the Green Bay Packers, and Chloe's pick also lost, picking the Chiefs over the Chargers.
Yeah.
So we are no longer undefeated on this end, but hoping to get back on the winning streak come this week.
Yeah. Well, since Chloe lost to the Chargers, that is her pick this week. Is
Chargers over the Raiders?
The Chargers to win. And she said that if I can't beat them, I might as well join them. 10-4. So she picks the Chargers to win this week.
What more can you ask for? She just loves that AFC West, doesn't she?
She's got too much on her mind, really, to be honest with you. You start rattling off, she's like, yeah, I'll take that game. And I haven't even finished rattling off games yet. But you rattle off the Chargers, and she's like, well, they beat me last week, so I'll jump on the bandwagon this week, and I'll take them.
Seems like that's going to be a pretty solid pick, to be honest with you. Yeah, Raylan coming in at 2-1 and picking the NFC last week. She decided to go NFC again this week with the old. Yeah, I have a little picture that I show her every week, and it's just all 32 NFL logos, and kind of whichever one she picks first. If she picks the same one again from before, I'll kind of let her choose two, maybe three times, see what she goes for. But this time she was pretty adamant, and I don't hate her pick because I do think they're going to win. But she is going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in a Super Bowl rematch.
Is that Sunday night, or is
That
that?
I'm not 100% sure on. I think it might be an afternoon slate.
Who's Thursday night this week?
Commanders and somebody. Commanders and shit. I was just watching the commercial for it before I came down here. This week, the Thursday night game is. I know it's the Commanders for sure. Commanders and Packers.
That'd be a good game.
It's gonna be a good game. A lot of high power on the offenses.
Yeah, that'd be a real good game.
Yeah, and that Kansas City game it's an afternoon slate on Fox Sunday afternoon.
Who's the Sunday night game?
Falcons Vikings.
Who?
Falcons and the Vikings.
Yeah, it's boo-boo.
Yeah, that's I think they're probably going for a lot of young quarterbacks to be in the prime time.
And
let them in the spotlight.
Who's Buffalo got this week?
We got the New York Jets at noon. At noon on CBS.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't like the spread being 7 because I feel like we always play them pretty tight, being a divisional matchup. I feel like it's one of those games where we kind of play down to them a lot of the time. But after that week 1 matchup, I'm hoping to see something different out of them.
Huh. What are the matchups this week? Because we got a survivor pick we got to get.
We got, let's see here, Thursday night, obviously Commanders Packers, but we can only pick Sunday games. So you got Rams Titans. You got Jags Bengals, Browns Ravens. There's your AFC North matchup right there. Bills Jets, Patriots Dolphins. That's an AFC matchup. That's boo-boo. If that game is anywhere near my TV, I will be ashamed of myself. 49ers Saints. 49ers got a couple injuries, George Kittle and Brock Purdy. George Kittle's on the IR. He's going to be out for 4 weeks. Brock Purdy dealing with a shoulder injury. Might miss time, might not. Said he's kind of day-to-day. Giants Cowboys, another divisional matchup in the NFC East. It might be a halfway decent game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game by any means.
Yeah.
Kind of 2 boo-boo offenses. Bears Lions. Man, there's a lot of divisional matchups this week. I think they're all damn near all divisional matchups. Bears, Lions, Seahawks, Steelers. Not going to pick that game because I'd take Pittsburgh to win it. Colts, Broncos, Carolina, Arizona, Eagles, Chiefs, and Falcons, Vikings to wrap up the Sunday slate. And then on Monday, that doubleheader we were talking about earlier with Tampa Bay and Houston, and the Chargers and the Raiders.
There's some decent games in there.
Yeah, a lot of divisional games. I mean, those divisional games, they usually play pretty tight.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This week I might have to go with the Rams over the Titans.
I think I might have to go Cincinnati over Jacksonville.
Yeah. Cincinnati's offense just scares me until I see them get rolling.
Where's that game at?
It is in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati.
3.5-point favorites up against the Jags. Jags are coming off a win against Carolina. Might be a little too big for their britches. And I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens. I'll definitely have to look closer at these games, but initially, just reading them off, I would have to go Rams over Titans.
Yeah.
But if Brock Purdy plays, I'd probably take the 49ers over the Saints. That's going to be one of those matchups where I might burn a team that may not win the bigger games. I definitely want to save the powerhouses for last if I can, but you got to make it through week to week. So if you don't make it through, it don't matter who you got in the back burner.
No, you gotta survive in advance, buddy.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. But we're coming up on hour 15 now. Let's wrap this thing up by giving the Rob of the Week. Let's see what you got in store. Let's see what you got in store for us this week. Because last week it did pan out. Missouri did end up beating Kansas, so
yeah. The Rob of the Week is, it's tough because it's so early, but the Rob of the Week is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs bouncing back and beating the Eagles.
Really? With or without Worthy?
Yep. They're going to find a
Really?
way. Yeah.
That game is in Kansas City. So the noise does make a difference because I've been to a couple games at Arrowhead, all versus the Bills. 2 of them would come out winners. One of them was a very unfortunate divisional matchup where Sean McDermott decided to play very, very soft coverage with 13 seconds left in the game. But the crowd there is no joke.
Yeah.
As much as I hate the Kansas City Chiefs, I will say they do have good fans as far as tailgating goes and just being around. They're very cordial. They're very cool. Nobody's ever said anything bad to us. But
they'll be rowdy, ready to go Sunday.
Yeah, it's gonna be loud there.
It is.
It's gonna be loud.
It is, brother.
But this officially wraps up the episode of the 19th Yard. So hit that like and subscribe. Leave a comment. If you guys got anything that you wanna touch on or want us to touch on, and we're gonna get back at it again next week.
Yes, sir. Keep it in the short grass.
We'll see y'all later.
See ya.